In this video, we're going to talk about percent composition questions. The percent composition, sometimes called the mass percent, is calculated by creating a ratio of the mass of one element to the mass of a whole sample and multiplying by 100%. Let's work through an example problem. A powdery white substance found in a college dorm room contained 0.367 grams of carbon, 0.0385 grams of hydrogen, 0.214 grams nitrogen, and 0.122 grams oxygen. Calculate the mass percents of each element in the sample to help a CSI figure out the identity of the compound. Now, this question has conveniently given us plenty of starting information. We have 4 different numbers that we can use to add up the total mass of the sample. In my calculator, I got 0.7415, but since we're going to be using significant figure rules, I'll round that to 0.742 grams for our total sample. Next, I want to create a mass percent for carbon, for example, since that's our first number. All I need to do is take the mass of my sample of carbon and divide it by our grams of our total sample, and then multiply times 100. This leaves me with 49.5% carbon. Now we'll just repeat the process for hydrogen. Dividing by the total sample, multiplying times 100 to get 5.19% hydrogen. And now we're halfway done. So let's figure out the nitrogen next. 0.214 grams of nitrogen divided by the total mass of the sample times 100. This gives us a percent of 28.8. Now, finally, for the oxygen, 0.122 grams of oxygen divided by the total sample times 100% yields 16.4% oxygen. Just to triple check that I've done all my math correctly, I went ahead and added up all of my percents. I got 99.89 for my answer, so that reassures me that I've done most of my math correctly. Pretty darn close to 100%. So I'll go ahead and box my answers, and then I finish the question. Now let's try a different type of example, one where we start with a known formula and then predict the mass percents. A fan of the Roadrunner cartoons looked up the molecular formula of trinitrotoluene, aka TNT, C7H5N3O6, and asked us to calculate the percent composition of each element. Now, this type of question may look like it has 0 numbers to start with, but actually we know the formula, so we can figure out the molar mass of this compound. In this case, we just pretend like we have 1 mole of this compound, and we can figure out the gram amounts of each individual thing. So first, we'll calculate the molar mass. We know that carbon's mass is 12.01 grams per mole, and that there are 7 of them in this compound. Hydrogen is 1.008, and there are 5 of them in this compound. Nitrogen is 4.01, and there are 3 of them. And oxygen is 16, and there are 6 of them. We'll add up all of these guys together to get a total molar mass of 227.14 grams per mole. Now all we need to do is take each individual amounts of the elements and divide them by the total molar mass. And multiply times 100 to get the mass percents. For carbon, that's 12.01 times 7 divided by 227.14 times 100, which should get us 37.01% carbon. For hydrogen, the same math applies, and we'll end up getting 2.219% hydrogen. For nitrogen, we'll end up with 18.50% nitrogen and 42.26% oxygen. Now this is kind of cool. It gives us a way to compare to that mystery compound in our previous question. All of these percentages are different, so those college kids definitely did not have TNT in their dorm room. And that's all you need to know about doing percent composition questions. Make sure you get really good at these because we need these skills when we tackle our next topic.